Slayer.
Paradigm Review Show. Welcome back, 2024 first show of the year. We got Jason Statham, David Ayer, The Beekeeper, 2024 action. We've got our man Queenslayer Mac, Mosh Shinobi. Go subscribe to Gaz's channel, Mosh Shinobi. It's below in the description. Channel news right off the rip. You can get your membership now. So right next to the subscribe button is the join button. There's 3 levels of the membership tier. That is the Gorilla, the Inspector, and the Vigilante. So you can have your pick of those. Zodiac Files episode 4 coming soon. Zodiac Files episode interview episode 10, volume 10 coming soon. That's going to be myself and Mike Rodelli. I'm reading his book In the Shadow of Mount Diablo. I got it back there. But today is all about The Beekeeper. I don't think there's really much other film news other than that, guys, because there's not too many things going on, but we'll come to other possible shows at the end. But The Beekeeper, Jason Statham. I mean, last time you heard from me and Gaz and Jason Statham, it was a little bit mixed because it was Expendables 4. And while that wasn't 100% Jason Statham's fault, go check out our Expendables 4 roast, like and share that. But I felt this was a much better outing for him, a much better outing for him. So I'll just give you guys like early thoughts. I found out late that this was directed by David Ayer. I didn't even know that, although I liked the aesthetic of the trailer a lot. I'm a big David Ayer fan, so that was a surprise. And then also the fact that this movie took place in Boston. I didn't even know that. As Mac knows, I'm from Boston, and I've had him up in Boston and Mass quite a few times. So that was a cool surprise for me, and I have a couple funny takes on that as we get through and talk about plot elements. But just any early impressions, thoughts from either one of you guys.
Well,
You go ahead, guys.
it's everything Expendables 4 should have been. I think Jason Statham should concentrate on The Beekeeper and just move away from that franchise altogether. And I'll save the rest for the review because I'll start to get amped and excited and no one will be able to get a word in.
Absolutely. Mac?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with both of y'all on this. This is one that, like you said, after that mess of a movie called it, Expendable 4. Whatever,
Spend a butt.
I just told myself, like, just pretty much, I'm just gonna just stick to the more standard action, and this pretty much was.
Yeah.
But it was a little more than that, though. It was one with a good story and one with
Agreed.
Jason Statham, who you're familiar with on a lot of action films, So yeah.
Yeah, right off the bat, I'll go just, my early impressions. I love the visual aesthetic as far as David Ayer's, camera work and shots, just the clarity of the editing. Even something that's a very minute, but just that text, the kind of pictorial script they used of all the bees and the aesthetic of the different kind of bees and the beehives right in the beginning credits. I was like, okay, this is cool. This originally, I don't even know if you guys saw some of the promo art that they shared on the Instagram they had the animated drawings of him with the bee honey on his fist, punching guys in the face with the bee honey on his fist. Just some crazy, creative, anime type artwork.
Yeah,
so I like the whole promo run. Yeah, I like the whole promo run, honestly. It's concept art, but it was stylized. That was all cool. I was totally into the Beekeeper concept. I mean, right off the rip, I think everyone knows where this movie is going. You basically get the entire plot from the trailer, which is that someone close to him has been burned on an identity scam and been hacked for all her finances. And that sets Adam Clay, the Beekeeper, off on this vigilante revenge, epic, and just going from top to bottom. But this is semi-spoiler, I guess, and I don't know how mad people will be about it. The whole concept of the Beekeepers being elite, government operatives, you know what I mean? It's I really don't think they needed to go that way, and then because of introducing that concept, we now have a third assassin verse to go along with John Wick and Accident Man, which I kind of felt, I don't know how you guys felt, I did feel like that was cliche. I felt like it's just have him be a beekeeper, and we don't really need to know what his background is. It could be a mystery. Obviously, it's a Jason Statham movie. He can fight. But I just like the concept of Sisu, where he's a gold miner, and that's all you know about him. You know what I mean? I would have preferred to just have him be a generic beekeeper, just a generic background. But you guys can, I don't know if you guys are the same on that or different,
Well, I'll add this right here. I know you want to say something too, Gaz,
No,
but
it's all right. Go on, man.
oh no, I'll just say this. This is the reason why I picked the name Queen Slayer Mac. It's just because of the
Yeah.
concept. I'm guessing that's what they chose was the beekeeper, and then him
Yeah.
his relation to bees and how that would somehow coincides with his work from the past,
Right.
and what he used to
Right.
do. So it's definitely like not a bad concept. I mean, yeah, it sounds corny when you first see it, the beekeeper, and like what?
No, well, it's not that part. Look at what I'm differentiating the two things. So you're saying like him as a beekeeper for his profession, Mac, and why that concept relates to what he's going to do. But why does that need to coincide with his work from the past? Is what I'm saying. He could just be any post-elite operative, and you don't really need to know his background. He could just be a modern-day beekeeper. That's my take on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it could be that. You never know. He could be like another equalizer, type, fellow.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, because if y'all seen all the three equalizers, like basically Denzel was the same guy, Robert McCall.
Yeah.
But
Right.
you can see he was in three different, stages of life going through all those movies. Y'all saw he was from one area to another area. He could be, like you said, he could be anybody.
Exactly.
Here's
Go, guys.
It would have added a layer of mystery, because I feel, and we'll get to this later, they can only do one more of these movies. If they do if they do a third, too much. It's milking.
Yeah, agreed.
Now, if they put a layer of mystery, they maybe could have done the Equalizer formula, possibly gone for 3. More of his background could have been revealed a little bit in the second, then say someone from his past catches up with him in the third. Possibly could have done that. I certainly don't think they can do more than one. So I get what you're saying. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It's really much my kind of movie. But there are a few cornball moments which, to be honest,
100%.
They make you laugh. It's hilarious. But if it didn't make you laugh, they could have ruined the movie. But I think it was shot so well from camera angles, the sequences, is why they got away with it. But we'll get to that.
So high quality that it kind of he was able to gloss over things that maybe other movies wouldn't be able to. I guess we could move into stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think the martial arts action sequences are like super well done. There's definitely some sick fights, definitely some entertaining explosions and super entertaining kills. As Gaz said, some of the bridge scene, just certain things, absolutely hilarious. There's just. I've watched a couple other reviews on the Equalizer. Everyone's saying it's like an 80s, 90s style action movie that has the cornball dialogue that Gaz just referenced, but it has the ridiculous, over-the-top fights. And I think Ayer is like the guy to capture that. And there's so many B puns, and when Agent Verona, the daughter of the main character who Statham is avenging. She's reading that B book that he left, so she's going around telling everybody like how the hive works and like why he, like Mac was explaining the Queen Slayer concept, like he's rising up to destroy the incompetent offspring of the Queen. And the thing is, dude, she must have said that. She must have told 6 people that in the movie. Like as a time, but some of the things got a little too repetitious. Where it's like, I get the B concept. I get that he's the Queen Slayer fighting up the ranks to the Queen. You know what I mean? But they explain it to you quite a few times. I get it's a short, like in and out action movie, but like there were some things that they did to death. But as far as the fights, super smooth. I only probably have a little bit of criticism, which was like your same criticism on that last fight, Mac, and I think we could probably explain that without doing any spoilers. But like that first one in the barn where he kind of uses his stuff from around the workbench, like super creative. I thought it was like an Equalizer style fight when he fought the dudes in the warehouse with the not the warehouse but the department store with the tools and crap. A lot of cool stuff. And then of course, so one thing I want to point out is, for the Boston people, this movie takes place in Massachusetts. I don't think there was one person with a Massachusetts accent in this movie, Mac. Did you hear one? There's like all these people from Hollywood and Los Angeles and New York, and there's quite literally not a Mass accent in the movie, which is funny. But That being said, his skyline shots of the city of Boston, beautiful. Like Gaz, when it showed that State Street building, like I used to work in that building, so there's like Mac knows I used to work downtown, so like it's cool for when you're someone like me that's from the area and they're like, damn, they just showed a building I used to work in and da 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 da. When it did go into that tower. I think it was the State Street Tower, one of those other buildings, when he was skateboarding into the sushi bar, like the douchebag druggy kid, and I was just like, that is the most like Boston frat bro, like skateboarder, like cocaine douche kid ever. I was like, as cliche as it is, it's also perfect at the same time. So there's that, and then one more final thought. We'll get into some more fight sequences and stuff.
Yeah. One quick notion though, man. When you was out there with Mike O'Day and all that, man, did y'all go anywhere around Charlestown? You know what I mean? See any like sites there that were like?
What do you mean?
Like anything from the movie or such? You know what I mean? Like from Townies and all that.
When I was mobbing around with Micah, we went to like the steps, right? You know, I've been to that the Bunker Hill Monument, but then there's a big steps in Charlestown. I've been to that. I've been to Mount Vernon, which is like a restaurant that's split half on the Charlestown, half on the Somerville side, so everybody is, you know what I mean, ganged up. But yeah, a couple spots, but we could that's more of an Equalizer story back.
Yeah, for sure.
It opens well from the start because it's coming. It has like a patient build up, and when we were watching it, I said 20 minutes, and then it's going to go all out, and it did. Straight from when he spoilers alert, I'll just say visits some of the call centers in the movie, which are run by game show like managers.
Epic
which was hilarious.
A douche manager there he's the mafia kid with the gold chain, and then they come back to his barn to do the hit on him later. Like that scene is actually awesome. I think they kind of clearly show that in the trailer, so I don't think that should be too bad of a spoiler. But I wanted to just get to one more part with the FBI agents. So I will say this, like, you're mostly invested into like Adam Clay and him getting the revenge and all that. Some of the side characters, like the FBI characters, you really don't care about them, even though she's the daughter of the woman who's passed away, which is the catalyst for this whole movie. But they could have hammered that home a little bit more with, she was like conflicted and whatever. It didn't really pan out. But that one part when he's like, hey, do you know it's that way? She's like, yeah, my mom's farm. It's like Springfield. He's like, okay, do you know it's that way? And she's like, yeah, Boston. And they tried to make it like, dude, that's like a 3-hour drive. Like that's what every New Englander was thinking. Like they made it like, oh my God, he drove from Springfield to Boston. He's gonna be there right away. We can't stop him. They would have had 3 or 4 hours to catch him along the way, but they were just like, oh my God, he went that. It was just a funny notion. If like, I'm sure same thing with local movies with you, Gaz, when they're like, hey, this is as far away from that. You guys are all like, nah, It was just like a local kind of thing. I was like, oh, really? You had a 3.5 hour head start. You couldn't catch him? Okay. The FBI. Like, maybe they were just dumping on the Boston FBI office. Who knows?
You made a good point, though, about the other characters just kind of feel in part of the environment, because as much as I love this movie, really, this whole film is about Jason Statham and Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons is the best actor in the entire movie.
Agreed. He's the only guy... Mac has made, Gaz has made this point. He was the only dude that was honestly acting in this movie, because Jason Statham doesn't act, he fights. He's great, but but this guy was like way acting above his chops, like to the point where you're just like, yeah, all the other character movies are pretty secondary, except for that South African mercenary dude at the end, like you guys were saying, and then that absolutely hilarious, hilarious.
Yeah. But we'll get to that for sure.
Yeah, we'll get to that for sure. But so. The one dude who might be from Boston is the Italian game show manager when they go to the bigger Boston office downtown. He I want to look him up because I could see him being local. I'm going to look it up while you guys talk. But so essentially, he takes out this way far out Springfield office, the local office. They have these massive call centers where they data mine people's like financial data and steal their finances. And he goes into that bigger Boston office. Like, we'll just talk about like the feds out front, like it's just ridiculous. It is hilarious. Like, I didn't know, that one caught me off guard because he just walked right up on him like, hey, what are we all doing here? And they're like, hey, this is the guy we're looking for. And then like, that was just a hilarious fight. He that was like 10 guys at least. Like, come on. Like that was hilarious.
Yeah, and the whole scene that follows as well, the way he essentially takes out the mercs, uses the environment against I'll just reference this, not to spoil. I'll just say, folks, look out for the elevator. That's all I'm gonna say.
Not even like so. Before that, Mac, when he did this is a semi-spoiler. I'm gonna try to do it without explaining it to you guys if you haven't seen it. When he used the ropes or whatever, Mac, in the ceiling tiles, like, didn't that remind you of Hobo with the shotgun when Grinder and Rip had the crossbow and they were like launching people into the ceiling? Like, it was very quick, but like it was like the same aesthetic, you know? Like,
I mean, not definitely, man. But the thing is, like, I've seen that. This is one thing I don't want to do is criticize it because it was a pretty good movie, but that was to me like one of those many. They use that like maneuver in the movies in so many freaking scenes, like in like
it's an old like action movie trope, like James Bondian when they put it's like an agent movie when they put like the rope around their neck and pull them through the ceiling. Like I think even Dolph did that in Punisher 1, you know. Like
I was gonna say it started with the Punisher. Like it started with the Punisher.
Right. But even I swear I seen Bond do it too. But yeah, no, I get you. But and again, it's not 100% original, guys. Like we said, it's a 90s style action movie. I guess what we review on my channel, Vigilante action movie. So overall, the fights are amazing. So he takes out those the military contractor guys that Irons calls in at the downtown Boston office, and then like his escape. Gaz kind of alluded to this. His escape out of there is awesome, super entertaining. I mean, you're thoroughly entertained. It does take. I wouldn't say it takes too long to get going, like Gaz was saying, but it marinates a little bit, and then by the time it pops off with these certain like catalysts, they keep it moving, which I thought was good. And then I think really the only like semi-criticism some of us have is just kind of this last fight scene, which is a big fight scene, and I know my man Greg said earlier, hoping there's lots of martial arts action in this, which I would argue there is, guys. The big fight scene at the end, I would argue it has it, guys. Not just Statham running around kicking everyone. That's the only problem, Greg. It's a Jason Statham movie, so he did run around and kick some people because you know it was a Jason Statham movie. But
the only kind of fight where he struggles is it's not. He still doesn't struggle that much. He's a South African mercenary who should come with subtitles because you could hardly understand him.
Sounds like a scouser.
Well, you couldn't miss him with the yellow shirt he was wearing. He was leading what looked like a comic SWAT team, and he's got one leg as well. So
that last scene is both good and bad at the same time because there's things that happen in that party that are like cringe and that get like Max said, like this is the whole movie suspends realism and you're mostly fine with it until it gets to that party where he's just like walking around and no one's shooting at him. And also like consider this, guys, like we won't say what government of office that character held, the Danforth kid's mom, but only having that amount of Secret Service there and then having that guy's random ragtag crew there to protect you-know-who when do you know what that office is in charge of? You could have all of the Navy there, all of the Navy SEALs, the Coast Guards, the National Guard, all of the FBI SWAT teams, all of the local SWAT teams. There's literally no... other than all out deploying aircraft carriers and stealth bombers, you know what I mean? You could essentially had any resource defending that mansion. So for one guy to be able to get in there so easily and beat the crap out of every single security officer he encounters did really take it up a notch. But I don't know what you guys thought.
Yeah, and on top of that, she would have had her top two guards around her as well. Aside from that, two would have been
at all times
level. I think it is very much a high octane action movie that certainly is about suspending disbelief. You see that with the first, I'll say, other beekeeper who he meets at the gas station, who looks like he'd come out of a cabaret contest or something. So
as entertaining as that fight and that scene was, because it's a cool random out of nowhere crash and bash gas station fight, almost like the gas station scene in Point Break, like in high octane, as you guys were saying, just in intensity. But like I said, when it alluded to, I was like, here we go, another assassin verse. The best thing that they did was what they did after that, when they were like, is not gonna be involved because they're all, you know what I mean. That was the best thing it could have did, because if they would have kept having beekeepers rush him for the rest of the movie, I would have been like, so it's like John Wick spinoff, like whatever, you know what I mean. But luckily it didn't go that route. But Mac, you had a criticism about that last scene as well.
Yeah,
about his escape.
Okay, my whole thing is just basically, don't get me wrong, we wouldn't have an entertaining ending, with such, crazy action if it wasn't.
And the fight's crazy.
Mac,
Just to preface Mac's point, the fight is leading up to that.
Oh,
The fight's crazy. Mac didn't say anything bad about that. The fight is crazy.
what
At the
you
end.
call
So.
yeah,
The
as Gaz
South
put it,
African.
high octane. I definitely would use that word. You know what I mean for this
Yeah,
one. 'Cause-
yeah. There's some cool weapons, some cool
But my
hallway
thing
sequences.
is, okay, you finished the mission, you did what you had to do, you avenged that woman who committed suicide.
Yeah.
So, what do? She lets you escape just for you to fall in the backyard where the beach is at and then go down, dig out his scuba gear, and then just freaking swim away. Now, why if you said the scuba gear there, why couldn't you just start from there and then go through the back and then get him easy?
Yeah, exactly. That is it. I didn't even think. Now, in his Statham's defense and Adam Clay's defense, the way he snuck in was dope. Like I appreciate the whole angle. It was almost James, but so I felt like it was just like, hey, we're gonna give you that, and then like Max said, by having that escape, you opened up the plot hole of like, okay, so why couldn't he do that in the first place? He could totally bypass 90% of that security, just break the windows in the back and get at the kid. You know what I mean? But it's what it was. The Taylor James was the South African dude. Lazarus was the character. Jeremy Irons plays Wallace West. Wild.
Who has some of the best dialogue in the movie, I've got to say, especially with the way he responds to his douchebag stepson, isn't it?
I was just getting to that kid. Josh Hutcherson is Derek Dansforth, and he plays the perfect frat boy, cokehead, corporate tech bro douche. Pretty, like I said, cliche, but still funny nonetheless. I'm basically good. I don't really have much on the Beekeeper. It's sick. Great action sequences, you guys. I think you would like it, Greg. If you like Statham, if you like action movies. Of course, David Ayer was a surprise. Like I said, it's always cool to see a movie in Boston because it's not as common as other cities. I could pretty much get into ratings if you guys are good to go. Whoever feels free to kick it off can pop us off.
Well, I'll give my final thoughts on it, though. It is a real great action movie. Definitely is pretty much what you expect from it. High octane action. It was definitely extreme. It was something that was hardcore. Like that's something that's missing a lot in action movies nowadays. The hardcore,
hard
element.
hard R.
No CGI nonsense here. All right, like the computer age. Like let that go. You can't let visuals and color and all this other craziness just because it's giving you a good high for some reason. Somehow an incredible movie. No, this is how you make an incredible
you're eating too much sugar in the movie theater if you think that stuff is good. This is more like physical. This is more physical, like Mac was saying, physically shot, physical effects for the most part. I mean, there's guns and explosions.
I mean, obviously Hollywood could be safe, use strings, all that stuff, Okay, special effects is is fine with me, but no CG.
But overdoing it when it's the whole movie, you still got to shoot actors,
Exactly. So, you want to make it entertaining, make it realistic at the same time. Go ahead, but leave that alone.
I agree.
Great film. So
So rating, Mac?
All right. I'll give my rating. I'll just say 8.5. It was definitely entertaining.
Nice, dude. Nice. I'm right around that. Final thoughts and rating, guys?
Final thoughts. A delightfully entertaining action movie, which aren't too common now. Beautiful fights, which were really well done. Some hilariously over-the-top acting, which, especially the bridge scene, I'll just say, listen to the way the actor screams. That's all I've got to say.
There's a lot of moments, quite a few moments.
Jeremy Irons was the standout actor in the entire movie. Absolutely superb. Has some hilarious dialogue. The way he delivers it is utterly funny as well. Yeah,
there's some great meltdowns.
Well-rounded, simple story, direct, it works. That's all you need to be entertained. What we're clearly lacking. There is a few cornball moments, especially at the end. The South African mercenary with the yellow shirt, who you can't miss. There's even a scene before he fights Statham inside the building, outside, which really, he wouldn't have got away with there. There's no way that would have happened. That's all I'm going to say there. And his team of mercenaries do look like a SWAT team that have walked out of Comic-Con and been converted in the full gear. They don't really look
100%.
However, that's the only minor gripes. I think they could do one more, but no more than that. Then it'd be milked.
I agree.
But
I like it as a one-off.
Yeah, really entertaining, well-balanced, everything that Expendables 4 wasn't. My rating is also an 8.5. It would have been higher if not for that Comic-Con SWAT team near the end. But yeah, really.
I think those guys were just walking, exploding bodies, which Statham needs a few baddies that just need to go hit the wood chipper. But I gave it. It's got a 6.8 on IMDb. My screen's blurred, so you guys can't see it, but I gave it a 8 out of 10. Action thriller. I thought it was sick. David Ayer, cool. Boston setting. I would run it back because I like it as a one-off, like Gaz was saying. But I would run it back because some of those sections were some of those fight sequences were so like fast moving. I'd like to break them down a little bit and reabsorb them. But even I don't think it's too bad of a spoiler when he threw the honey on the dude and when he was like pouring gasoline on some people and they said the honey was flammable. I don't know if that, I gotta look that up. I don't even know if that's true or not. But yeah, just a lot of little accents like that. And again, so many B puns. But again, sometimes when they were just like reiterating like the bee, it launches up from the hive and it rises up to the queen, and they just kept like going with that thing. I was like, okay, we get it. But nonetheless, the fights are sick. I think you guys should definitely watch it. I saw it on a free promo run, so shout out to Dante from the meetup group. Comment what you guys would like us to review below and check out the links in the description. Get your membership. I was suggesting to the boys Nope, Jordan Peele's Nope. That was pretty sick. I think you guys would like that. One More Shot, Scott Adkins, the sequel to One Shot, Mac. If you guys can find that on alternative sources, it's got Scott Adkins, Michael Jai White, and Tom Berrigan. I say that we do that. And then Napoleon, me and you guys. So we got some stuff. The Iron Claw. Anything else you guys want us to review? Put it below in the comments. I think Drew Beeson's live right now with Tony Doug Wright on the Yuba County 5K. So check that out as well. All right, boys. Gaz, any final shouts? Subscribe Gaz's channel, Mosh Shinobi. It's in below in the description.
Just thanks for everybody for coming through, support and subscribe to the channels at Mosh Shinobi, at Planet X Films. We're always live on one of the channels covering, pretty much everything and anything. And just much love to y'all.
Any final words, Mackie? Welcome back, brother.
Oh, yeah, just, well, dang, I didn't even put it there. It's at Mac the Rebel PXR, but there will be soon changing. But I would say add that for the meantime. So yeah, Mac the Critic, new reviews coming soon and all that. So definitely.
Just follow his handle in the meantime, and he'll change it. He'll get it crispy, and we'll get it up. We'll get it updated in the links to Mac's Twitter. All of our Twitters are below, including at Planet X Filmwork. The Hellbound review is live. Go like, sub, and share that. Shout out to Cybot Studios, my boy Tobias, who did our first game dev interview with me. That's it for all, guys. The Beekeeper, go check that out. It's sick. If you have anything else you want us to review, or we'll be looking at action, horror, crime, thriller. I think the Terminator Netflix series, guys. Let's get that going as well. And we'll have more content for you guys coming soon. We are out. PRS, PXF, like, sub, share. More Zodiac content coming soon.